Between 1650 to 1900, ndị Igbo were known to be unmanageable, and this period, a large percentage of suicide occurred in order to avoid slavery. The aid into rise of slavery in Igbo land dates back to the ancient cave that was located in Arochukwu Kingdom, where Chukwu Okike Abiyama, called Ibini Okpabi, was a powerful deity of the then Aro people. In this time, the major Igbo kingdoms, Nri, Aro Confederacy, Abo, and Onitsha followed the same culture and worship, yet had to run very different practices from each other. Nri Kingdom and the Confederation of Independent Igbo states such as Ajali, Arondizuogo, Igbene kingdoms, and about 2 others did not engage in slavery. Thus, enslaved individuals from nearby lands would frequently escape to these kingdoms in order to maintain freedom. Ancient Igbo people followed a pattern of divination known as Ordinala. However, Arochukwu Kingdom was exceptional because it was headed by a divine oracle, Ibino Okpabi, who was in charge of making decisions for the king. During this time, if anyone committed a crime, was in debt, or did something perceived an abomination, such as the killing of certain kinds of animals, then were considered an abomination as a result of its affiliation with a particular deities. Offenders would be taken to the cave arena to face the oracle for sentencing. Ibini Ukpabi, the oracle, who was also influenced by the needs of the European slave traders, would sentence these people to slavery even for the smallest crimes. The victim would be commanded to walk through the cave so that the spirits would consume them. But in reality, they were taken to an end with an opening on the other side and loaded straight onto a waiting boat. This boat would take them to a slave ship en route to the Americas, Haiti, Jamaica, or even Barbados, depending on where the trader was headed. The European began intrusion on Igbo territory, hence causing the Aro kingdoms to desire weapons to defend themselves. The need to counter external threat as they are facing them. Aro Confederacy's relationship with the Europeans was driven not just by economic goals, but that of defense. People would be captured regardless of gender, social status, or age. Though the Aro people played a significant role in the slave trade, acting as middlemen between the Igbo hinterlands and European traders on the coast, the Aro used their influence, particularly through the Ibini Ukpabi oracle, the long juju of Arochukwu. Aro led the expansion of the slave trade in Igbo land. They controlled trade routes, influenced local leaders through their religious and economic networks, supplied slaves to the European traders at coastal ports such as Calabar, Bonny, and Upopo. The Aro people, in collaboration with their allies like the Abam warriors, conducted raids into other Igbo communities, capturing individuals and selling them into slavery. Another area that were actively involved are riverine communities such as Ndoni and Oguta, due to their access to waterways that connected them to major slave markets along the coast. Bonny and Opopo coastal trading centers were not left out, though not originally Igbos. The people of Bonny and Opopo, who had Igbo ancestry through intermarriage, became major slave trading hubs, working closely with European traders. Onitsha and Asaba towns were also engaged in trade, though more as transit points rather than large-scale raiders. We may say slavery has been abolished, a chapter well closed, but I want to draw your conscience closer to acknowledge that there are yet parallel lines between ancient and this day slavery. A lot of people are on chains, raided on daily basis without their knowledge. There are a lot of economic exploitations ongoing. Just as Igbo people were traded for material gains in the past, today's victims are exploited for money. For instance, many people with talent suffer this fate, where their so-called benefactors milk their talent in exchange for peanuts, use of violence and coercion. Then and now, slavery thrives through kidnapping, deceit, and coercion. Today is no different, as the rate of kidnapping is on high increase. In past era, these individuals are sold off to masters who may actually change their fate for good. But today, People are kidnapped, tortured, extorted, and if not lucky, meet death. There is also social stratification, the marginalization of descendants of slaves in Igbo society, that is, Osuka system, mirrors the way modern trafficking victims face discrimination both in marriages and the society at large. Conclusively, the slave trade in Igbo land had long-lasting consequences, shaping economic disparities, social divisions, and patterns of exploitation that persist today. The fight against modern slavery, human trafficking, and systemic oppression must be prioritized. Awareness, legal reforms, economic empowerment, and social inclusions are crucial steps towards breaking the cycle of oppression that has persisted for centuries. If you enjoy the stories I tell, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, put on your notification button. I'll continue to bring you more interesting stories, facts, and findings from present, past, and even current happenings. Thank you and bye.